Alrighty, Central Bucks West will be kicking off to the Hatters of Hatboro-Horsham. As Eric Bass mentioned, a very breezy day. Hatboro won the toss, Eric, and Central Bucks West then elected to go with the field position. The wind is blowing from our right to left as you view the football field. Hatboro in the black jerseys, the red pants, the white numerals. Central Bucks West in the road uniform with the white jersey, black numerals, the gold pants, and of course those traditional gold helmets. And Eric, what should be a fine football game on a very autumn-like afternoon now, just moments away as the fans are still filing in here to Alden Field, one of the all-time great fields in the Bucksmont League.
Without a doubt, Joe, I felt for years and years that this is probably the most intense rivalry in the Bucksmont other than Central Bucks East and West game that has now come about because of the split of the two schools a number of years back. But I know when I played at Central Bucks, this was our biggest rival. I think Hatboro is a much bigger rival in North Penn. They used to try to make that out to be a big game, but I think Hatboro is the big game. They draw from a big crowd, large populous area, and they're a good football team.
Michael Brooks, number 24, one of the twin safeties, in addition to number 29, that's Quayne Worth. And it will be Central Bucks West. Darren Young has it teed. Darren, a 165-pound junior, number 7, and it's so windy that Central Bucks West will have to hold the football. Brooks nearest to us. Roth on the far side. This game is underway. Young hits it well. Roth takes it on the 2-yard line, fumbles the football into the end zone. He's going to come out. And he is hammered down at about the 12-yard line. One of the tacklers includes the kicker. He was hustling down there. That was Darren Young. In addition to number 31 for Central Bucks West, that was Pat Hopkins. So the field position, not a good one. Spot the football at the 12-yard line. Steve Clark will be the quarterback for the Hatters of Hatboro-Horsham. And we'll set some of that defensive people for you as Eric Bass gets them over the football, as the nose guard is Brad Tracy, number 31. Out of the I formation, Houlihan, the lead back. The tail is Michael Brooks on the first play from scrimmage. Brooks is hit hard at the line of scrimmage. First man to hit him is Scott Daniels, number 70. In there at one of the nose guards. It appears as if West opened up in a 5-man defense. Eric, how about if you check that out for us as we progress here?
It was a 5-man defense, Joe, and I think you saw right there is the tempo of this game has been set right from the first play. That's probably as good as hit as you're ever going to see in high school or college football right there.
Rob Moylan is at the right end. He is number 89. The left end is number 32. That is Pat Hopkins. Second down. That play lost a yard. In motion goes Tim Kramer. Play action. Incomplete up at about the 25-yard line. Joe Waters, number 48, incomplete. Let's set that Hatboro-Horsham offensive line for you. Kevin Dick, 57, is the center. Bob Long and Mike Hughes are the guards. Dave Boyer and Eddie Dearden, number 72, the tackles. Waters is one of the wideouts, along with Joe Ballestieri. And a substitute comes in. That's Rich Simononis, whose brother Dave Simononis, also in that top 10 all-time Bucksmont rushers, along with Eric Bass, who's with us today. First third down attempt of the afternoon. Simononis splits to the right. The backs in the I formation. Third down and 9. Again, play action. Here comes a blitz. This is trouble. That's going to be a safety. Central Bucks West. Rob Moylan, number 89, along with number 31, Brad Tracy, are there, and it's 2-0 Central Bucks West. And I guess you can say, Eric Bass, that the Bucks are fired up.
I'm telling you, Joe, you have to throw out all the records when you come to this game. This is a big game in the Bucksmont, and Central Bucks don't count them out of this game at all.
Well, they're up 2-0 right now. Rob Moylan, along with Hopkins, were the first two there. And down goes the quarterback, Steve Clark, as Dennis Stanley, Eric, elected to come out throwing into the wind. And, well, that one pass to Waters could have been caught, so we can't really say the wind affected the play at all. But the West defense is ready.
Joe, there's nothing wrong with throwing into the wind, but you're going to have to keep the passes short, and you're going to have to get underneath the zone, which they were trying to do. Like you said, the pass was dropped.
Yes, Waters was open, so it'll be a free kick from the 20-yard line, and number 20 for the Hatters is in. That is Mike Heineck.
I think the big thing that we're going to have to watch for in this game, Joe, is there are environmental factors that are going to play a very important part in this game. The wind is very, very strong. The passing game is not going to go unless you're with the wind, but then the pass is going to be off anyway.
Steve Roth stands on his 25-yard line. He is nearest us. And on the far side is number 25, Mike Hunter. So 26 and 25. And Neil Roberts, excuse me. That's Neil Roberts, number 10. Neil Roberts also on the soccer team. He's the starting fullback. Roberts has, of course, a couple of field goals this year, one of which won the game against Archbishop Wood. Hunter away, Roth nearest. Neil Roberts up on the football, into the wind, very high. And it bounces at the 40. Roth takes it, hit immediately, and a shoestring tackle made very nicely by Mike Abanizio, number 23 for the Hatters of Hatboro-Horsham.
Excellent field position for Central Bucks. This is what they need. I think if Central Bucks gets on the board early like they have, if they can amount of drive now, I think they'll be in very, very good shape.
Neil Roberts off the field for Hatboro. He has an injured shoulder. He is only the kicker, and as I said, is also on the soccer team. Mike Pettin Jr. in at quarterback, number 11. Splitting wide to the right. Dave Perrine along with Walt Kabrinsky. So we see a slot formation right off the bat. Now up on the wing to the right side moves McCandless. Rolling out to the right. Billy Watson, 44 into block. Pettin throws, and it is incomplete at the 47-yard line of Hatboro-Horsham, intending the pass for Walt Kabrinsky.
Mike Pettin's felt pressure before. He knows what to do in these situations, and right away I can see what his game plan is going to be. He's going to have to go with the sprint out patterns, stay short. That's the only thing you can do on a day like today.
Of course, Mike Pettin Jr., the quarterback, does have the wind at his back here in this period. Kevin Gettner is the wideout. The tight end is Robbie Moylan, and Gettner now splits to the right. Wings on each side, and the lone setback, the powerhouse, Billy Watson. That's Walt Kabrinsky in motion, and again they sprint out to the right. This is a bootleg all the way. Pettin's in some trouble. He's hit, and down he'll go at about the 43-yard line. That play may lose a yard. Up to make the tackle is Steve Clark, who's going both ways at quarterback and also at left corner.
It's a tough situation for a young man to do, is play both ways like that, but I think he's going to rise to the occasion.
Clark's a good all-around athlete, Eric Bass.
I like the way Central Bucks' game plan's gone so far. I think both sides sprinting out is going to be their best bet against Hatboro today.
Jim Richardson, the center, up over the football. 3rd down and about 11. Let's see if they sprint to this side. Yeah, indeed. Pettin, pressure, has time, good block, fires a pass, incomplete. And Steve Clark is making the receiver pay. That's Walt Kabrinsky. Well, the West defense really looked excellent, especially the linemen here on the Hatboro side. It looks like the defensive backs led by Steve Clark, Eric Bass.
I think what's going to happen, Joe, is you're going to see, like I said, with the passing game, with the wind the way it is, you're going to see a lot of overthrown balls when you have the wind with you, and they're going to settle down and get into their type of game. Central Bucks knows what to do. Pettin knows how to call the plays, and I think you're going to see a very good game.
Tim Creamer along with Michael Brooks, RD. Walt Kabrinsky. Excuse me, it's Snyder punting, not Kabrinsky. Walt had punted last season. Hits it pretty well. Creamer goes back and has it at the 15-yard line. Angles to the right. There's going to be a clip coming up here. I'm sure that will go against Hatboro-Horsham. Well, we don't have a number 68, or is it 63?
What Central Bucks is going to have to do on those situations is the punter is going to have to get the ball higher in the air and let the wind carry it. He outkicked his coverage that time, and he was very fortunate they come up with a clip play on that, because they may have gotten to the outside on that play.
Number 68 not on our roster. He is the man who did the clipping. Mike McCandless, number 30, down very quickly. Eric, as we look through these, especially the Central Bucks West roster, we see McCandless, Jay Warren. Who else am I missing here? Obviously, Walt Kabrinsky, 3 baseball players. So we saw a lot of baseball from back in the spring. Out of the I formation, Houlihan, a fine fullback, is in there at the lead back. Michael Brooks, the tail, and Brooks gets it, cuts over the left side. He'll break it up over the 15 to about the 16-yard line. Scott Daniels, number 70, finally puts him away, along with some help from 34, Nick Bitsko, who checks in at 6 foot, 225. Nick Bitsko, Eric Bass, tough football player, and I think you saw quite a bit of him during the summer as you worked a little bit with the Central Bucks West people.
Good all-around athlete, and it shows when a young man like this can play both football and baseball and play at the intensity that he does in both sports.
Out of the I slot right formation. Brooks left side, right side, excuse me. Nick Bitsko again, 34 there to make the tackle.
I think you can see right now that Central Bucks has scouted Hatboro very well. They've had a lot of opportunity to do so, playing 5 games already as opposed to Central Bucks 2 games. And Mike Penn seems to know what they're going to run on every play.
Third down, about 2. The football at the 19-yard line. Let's call it the 18-yard line here at Alden Field in Hatboro-Horsham.
I think this will be an interesting call, Joe. I look for Hatboro probably try to run the ball on this play.
Well, they have the I formation. Houlihan is yet to carry. Let's see if he gets the call. Third down and short. That's the bread and butter man, Michael Brooks, a first down to the 25-yard line. Brooks does some high stepping. Finally tackled by Pat Hopkins. He ran away from a tackler.
That was a big hole in the right side of the Central Bucks line. I expected that, though, Joe.
Well, he's the bread and butter man. There's no question about that. Chris Snyder and Mike Pettin, 8 and 11 respectively, in there at the corners. Jay Warren also. The linebackers are 42 Bo Beck and 44 Billy Wasson. And Wasson's one heck of a football player, Eric. You're going to like what you see from him. Hopkins, 31, the nose guard. 32, the nose guard, rather. 31, Tracy outside. Vitsko is inside, along with Moylan and also number 70, Scott Daniels. That's Houlihan. Not all that much, and 44, Billy Wasson, the linebacker, there to make the tackle.
Billy Wasson made a great play. He had tremendous pursuit on that play, cut off the running back and made a great tackle. I like that. I like to see that, Joe.
Well, Wasson came from behind, as you said, Eric, and pursuit was the key word on that particular play. Second down and about 9, 7:09 to go, opening quarter, 2-0. Yeah, that's the score. It's football. West tackling quarterback Steve Clark in the end zone for the 2-point safety. Out of the eye, toss to Brooks on the left side. Good block inside, cuts back, and he'll get to about the 30-yard line.
I think Hatboro's in for a long day today. Central Bucks has gotten better every game, and the fact that they've lost 2 games of the strike really did hurt them. A lot of people don't realize this. It's emotionally hard for them to get up for it. They had 2 setbacks, but there's a lot of pride, a lot of tradition in the Central Bucks football program.
Jay Warren, one of the tacklers. Rob Sargent, number 74 rather, now also in there on the, what appears to be the right tackle. That's who it is. And the left tackle is Vitsko. The ends are Moylan and Hopkins. Brad Tracy is the nose guard. Third down and 5, passing situation. Wide out to the right, Rich Seminonis. Quick look. Oh, that ball is just simply taken away by the wind, and it may have been caught. If it was, that's going to be unbelievable. It is caught by Tim Creamer. And that's a first down, and that's unbelievable. Number 8, Chris Snyder, was right there. I believe he leaped too soon for that football, Eric Bass, and the reason the wind held it up, thus causing the ill-timed jump by Chris Snyder.
Exactly. That's one of the things that is going to happen in a game like this. When you have that intensive wind, you're going to see some very funny-looking plays involved in this football game.
And that was funny-looking, believe me. Nice play by Tim Creamer to stay with the football. First down at the 41-yard line. Wide out left, I formation. Steve Clark. Michael Brooks. Nice run by Brooks. He's in the open. Michael Brooks is going to go cruising down the left sideline, and he will go 49 yards for a Hatboro-Horsham touchdown. Michael Brooks, 59 yards for the touchdown. Broken at the line of scrimmage, Eric. Once he was out into the linebackers, it was all over. Michael Brooks, 59 yards, touchdown. Hatboro-Horsham.
That young man runs the football as well as anybody I've seen in a long time. He kept his bounce. It looked like he had been stopped. Kept high knee action, ran real well. He reminds me a whole lot of the Lee brothers who used to play here at Hatboro.
Well, he ran right out of his shoes as you see him coming over to the Hatboro sideline. Michael Brooks, that's 59 yards. Eric, mark it down on the scorecard. And Neil Roberts comes in to try to make it 7-2. Well, you had just said on the previous play that the Hatters might be in for a long day. However, maybe you should have set in for a long run. Michael Brooks, high snap. It's down. Neil Roberts has it. Neil Roberts splits the uprights. It's 7-2. Hatboro-Horsham with 5:38 remaining, and I think we're in for a wham-bam football game. Thank you, man.
It's going to be an intense football game, and the big thing that's going to happen now is we have to have Central Bucks, I believe, score before this quarter's over, because they're going to have the wind into their faces coming into the second quarter, Joe.
Well, Mike Pettin Jr. threw twice on the only series that Central Bucks West has had the football, and I believe you will be correct, Eric. They will put it up again.
The one thing a lot of people don't look at in high school and college football is you got to remember that the game is won in the line, and that time Hatboro did a tremendous job blocking down on the Central Bucks team.
Now, the Hatboro-Horsham people have always had a good offensive line, and they had a big boy here a few years ago named Mark Dearden. His brother Eddie's here now. He's a senior at 2'10", 6'2", and he can clean house. And But Eric, you described that perfectly after we had hoped to have done so on the initial play. Brooks was hit at the line of scrimmage. That little stumble bum drill that the backs do kept him alive, stayed on his feet. And then what a tremendous burst of acceleration at the 40 of CB West, and it was all over from there. Jay Warren, and he's a quick one, couldn't even come close to catching Michael Brooks.
He's a nice looking runner, he really is, Joe.
Hunter and Roth deep. Neil Roberts, I believe he just missed that ball, and that's not even going to go 10 yards. Hatboro would be better off having it go out of bounds, because then, Eric, wouldn't West get the ball on their 40? On the West 40, I believe. Isn't that the call on PIAA?
I believe so. I think what happened on that play is I really think Hatboro was trying an onside kick.
You think he was?
I really think he was, because he had the whole right side of his left side of the kickoff team starting the motion almost.
Well,
it backfired though, however.
It backfired tremendously. He would have been kicking into a pretty stiff wind, but I don't think you ought to give that football up that close. It goes out of bounds at the 40, so that's where West takes over. Wasson in motion. They're strong to the right. Quick toss right side. McCandless hit in the backfield. Flag flies. They'll pick up about 5. First man there, he had a shot at him, was John Swan. However, here comes a call. Looks like procedure against West. I believe a couple of people were moving. Or did the man in motion turn upfield before the snap?
I think that's what happened, Joe. It looked like he turned up a little too soon. Ball snap.
Nice crowd on hand here today. We see some of our friends from the Hatboro-Horsham area. The Fishers. Of course, we saw Steve Fisher pitch baseball last season, Eric, for Hatboro, and we'll see him again. He's also a super soccer goalie. And we see his father and brother in attendance here today, Ron and Max.
I really expected a bigger crowd today, though, Joe. I'm surprised that there wasn't a bigger turnout. I guess a lot of people maybe wrote off the Central Bucks team today, but I don't think they should have this soon.
Petton's in the pocket. Now he has to sprint out. Now he reverses and forget it. He's going to go down. The big rush by number 72, Ed Dearden. And let's credit the defensive secondary, Eric Bass, including Michael Brooks, Tim Creamer, and Steve Clark, because they had the West potential receivers covered like a blanket.
They had everybody covered. There was no place that young Michael Petton could throw to. He had to eat that ball.
And I'm sure it didn't taste very good. Rob Moylan comes in at the tight end to the right. Kevin Gettner splits to the right, so Boylan comes tight left. Rob Moylan, excuse me. Kobrinski's on a wing. First time we've seen the I formation. And they're going to shift it strong to the right. Probably a roll right with Petton throwing the football. He keeps it himself, gets a block from Watson. Oh, what a fine play on the defensive end. My, is that Joe Ballesteri? It must be, yes indeed. He was hit by Watson. Eric Bass put the big forearm out and still took care of the ball carrier Mike Petton. Super play by a defensive end, turning it in and making the tackle himself.
This, Joe, to me looks like maybe one of the finest Hatboro football teams I've seen in a long time, because they look strong across the front. They've got real good defensive backs.
Well, Ballesteri's on that one end. Of course, 72 Dearden is also in there, 77 Steve Bolick. And there's always been a Bolick somewhere playing for Hatboro-Horsham football. I formation, wideouts to each side, third down and deep mileage. Mike Petton in the pocket. Mike Petton's being chased. He has running room up the right side. Cox fires, caught. Beautiful catch. Short of a first down, though. No. They're saying it's incomplete. Well, the referee was right there. They say no good. Rob Moylan did a nice job of what he had to do, Eric Bass, and that is coming back to the football to help his quarterback.
That's a sign of a good receiver. When the quarterback gets in trouble, he's got to break his pattern. He's got to come back and try to get in the open. He did that.
I thought we had a pretty good view of that. Moylan didn't argue, so I presume the official had it right.
I guess so. It looked like he caught the ball from here. We're a long way away.
3:43 to go in an entertaining first period. 7-2. The Hatters over the Bucks. Snyder way up in the air. This will be some good coverage. Let's hope it takes a good bounce. If you're a West fan, it does. And it is down by Mike McCandless down at the 4-yard line.
Joe, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's the way he has to kick the ball when he has the wind in his back, get it high in the air, get the coverage down there, and hope for the roll.
3:32 now. Now, if you're Dennis Stanley, are you content here to maybe get a first down or two, punt it away, wait until the second quarter, get the wind behind you, and maybe start throwing it then?
It depends on how much confidence he has in his offense, and I think he probably does have a lot of confidence. However, in this type of game is maybe what you're saying, Joe, might be the best thing is try to get a couple first downs and hope you get the wind at your back in the second quarter.
Brooks on a counter play, up over the 10, close to the 14, 15-yard line. Moylan has it from behind. That play picks up about 7.
This young running back, Joe, is a step away every time he carries the ball from breaking a long one like he did already in this game.
Tom Burley from the baseball team comes in. Boy, these football teams loaded up with baseball players, aren't they?
It seems that way.
Ballestieri. Joe was hurt, did not play much football last season. He can hit a baseball a long way, we know that. I formation, wide out to the right and left. Brooks breaks it into the open again. First down up to the 29-yard line, 24-yard line. Mike Pettin and Rob Moylan. Now that's a strange pair of tacklers. The corner has to come all the way up, yet the defensive end is so far back, so somebody somewhere is not doing the job inside.
The game's going to be won and lost in the interior line, as it is in every major game that's played in football, and Hatboro is blowing Central Bucks' team out in the interior line right now.
Well, I want to double check our center. We were told it was going to be Kevin Dick. I don't believe that's C, at least numerically. As far as our roster goes, we'll double check it for you. This time Brooks has hit hard at the line of scrimmage. 44, Billy Wasson has him.
That's what they have to do, is stop him before he gets started. He breaks one tackle line of scrimmage. He has a threat to go all the way anytime.
Wasson and also Scotty Daniels. Check that center for us, Eric Bass, for Hatboro.
Joe, I'm looking right now. It looks like number 59, but I don't see 59 on our program.
I don't either. Let's watch as he comes out. It is 59, and we don't have a 50. It might be Kevin Dick with just a number change. That's what we'll...
Could be a misprint here on our program.
Yeah, we were told he'll be the starting center, and by Dennis Stein, I'm sure that's him. This time they go to the up back, Houlihan, a couple of yards possibly. Wasson, well, both linebackers that time, Bo Beck, number 42, and Billy Wasson, 44.
Hatboro with this kind of running game is what you need when you have this type of day and you're running into the wind or passing into the wind. They haven't had to pass very much. They've been moving the ball on the ground.
Well,
they're going to have to pass on this play, though.
3rd and 9, and they're just 1 minute away from having the wind of their back. So,
Joe, I wouldn't be surprised to find a draw play on this play.
Well, they're in the I formation. Let's see. Brooks has 5. Brooks has close to, and he does have a Hatboro first down before Mike Pettin Jr. makes a tackle. That, Eric Bass, is 9 yards. He had 7 on a previous carry. About 10 before that, so let's count that up. 7, 10, and 9 would be 26, and he had 59. So 60, 26. He's got about 85 yards rushing in the first quarter.
That's not a bad statistic, Joe. Haven't seen that kind of rushing here at Hatboro since George Lee played here.
Maybe we can find out from Mike Gibson here, but I have him for close to 85 yards rushing. Gibson is down there checking for us. We'll find out. First down, clock winds down, probably the last play of the opening quarter. Clark up the right side, the ball's caught at the 45-yard line. And making the catch for Hatboro-Horsham is Tommy Burley. Mike Pettin Jr. again in on the tackle. Very close to another Hatboro first down, and I believe they will have it. And Eric Bass, with 13 seconds remaining in the opening quarter, Hatboro moves it out from their own 6, and they'll get the football and the win in the second quarter. And they'll have a great opportunity to add to their lead, which is now 7-2.
This period's moving very quickly, and obviously Hatboro's not afraid to do anything on any play. It doesn't matter which direction they're going on this field. That was a surprising play right then.
And that will end that first quarter. The score, Hatboro-Horsham 7, CB West 2. The Bucks came up with a safety, and Michael Brooks goes 59 yards. Neil Roberts splits the uprights. That's where we stand. We'll be back with the second quarter here on Home-Vue Cable Television following these messages. Second quarter of action. Steve Clark and the Hatters a first down on their own 46-yard line. Houlihan and Brooks in the backfield. That's Joe Ballestieri motioning to the right. Jimmy Houlihan with a dive down to, up to about the 49-yard line. Dave Perrine, number 12 now in defensively for West.
I think Hatboro is going to play this game, now that I've watched it for the first quarter, Joe. I think they're going to play this game exactly like they play. It doesn't matter what the conditions are. They're running, obviously, their game plan, sticking with it, and it's working for them.
Rich Simonona splits wide to the left. He's picked up out here by the linebacker, Bo Beck. With a wing left. Play action, and it works well. But it's overthrown and picked off, and Mike Pettin Jr. has some sailing down the right sideline. But a touchdown saving tackle made by Rich Seminonis as that ball was overthrown, and Pettin, playing free, comes up with the interception.
That's a big break for Central Bucks, and right away then you can see exactly what kind of effect the wind has. That ball carried on him, he overthrew his receiver. It's an easy interception for young Mike Pettin.
So up at the 47-yard line, West has the football, and with the exception of the bad kickoff, Eric, I believe the first time the Bucks have had the football in Hatboro territory.
You're right, Joe.
McCandless and Wasson behind Mike Pettin. Billy Wasson into Hatboro territory now at the 48-yard line.
Central Bucks needs to establish a first down with the running game, I believe, in this game for them to go to the pass. And I think they're going to have to make Hatboro respect the fact that they can run the ball also. We're going to see who's going to win this war in the trenches today.
Wide to the left for the Bucks. Splits Kevin Getner. McCandless slot left, Kaprinsky slot right, and Wasson is hit as soon as he gets the football. My goodness.
He looked like he was untouched on that play.
Bob Long, number 63, in to make that tackle. So we have a change there, Eric. Bobby Long is wearing 63. Well, how about that? Huh? The Cardinals putting away the Brewers. 4-0. Of course, by the time you folks watch this game, the World Series of '82 might well be history. Same formation, Eric. Just Wasson behind the quarterback. Pettin, quick lookout. Dropped at the 45-yard line.
Something I noticed about Central Bucks, which I'm very, very surprised about, is their offside line. There might be a reason for it because possibly Hatboro's got a lot of quickness, but Central Bucks seems to be playing off the line a great deal. They're off the ball a good 3 or 4 feet.
I'll watch that the next time. Walt Kaprinsky wanted to run before he caught that pass. Didn't catch it, couldn't run.
Well, the ball seemed to fade away from him a little bit.
Well, again, Pettin throwing into the wind, and now Chris Snyder, senior punter, will be kicking into it. Gets it high in the air. Look at the wind play with that football. Fair catch called for and made by Tim Creamer at the 26-yard line. For Central Bucks West, down on the coverage was John Wozniak, a 205-pound sophomore. Mike Pettin likes to see that. So the Hatters back on the offense. Steve Clark comes in at quarterback, following the legendary Craig Hammer, who for the past couple of years set the Bucksmont on fire, along with Scott Stankevich and also Todd Norley, who started today at Syracuse, and also Scott Stankevich starting at North Carolina. We have a flag thrown after a fine run. That flag's going to bring it back. Quayne Roth is in. Michael Brooks is out. I don't know. He is not injured, Eric. I see him standing on the sideline.
He's obviously taking a breather, Joe. He's playing both ways. He might be a little tired.
Quayne Roth looked pretty quick as he picked up a first down, which will be nullified by the holding penalty against the Hatters from Hatboro-Horsham.
Joe, I can't believe it. We're down here in Hatboro-Horsham, and I see a guy I played football with at Penn State University, Frank Aronhold, one of the finest tackles ever to play at Penn State University. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's sitting right down here in front of us.
How about that? Well, I guess he's here to watch a good game, eh?
That's very interesting. Maybe someone that he knows is playing in the game.
Could be. All right, let's reset the situation for you. 13-yard line, which brings up first down and about 22, 23. First and 22. Hatboro stuck way back. Boy, a very wide spread 5 this time by CB West. Gap 5 the way it looks. Roth, right side. Scott Daniels, number 70, the tackler.
It's important that Central Bucks stops Hatboro-Horsham deep in their territory after that penalty, because like I said, Hatboro's got the win now. Central Bucks look really good. Like, that may be the biggest and longest run of the game that Brooks made earlier.
Yeah, since then they've shut it down pretty well. Brooks had a 9-yard scamper after that, but take away that long run, and well, the defense hasn't played that badly. One pass into the air that Schneider couldn't quite get to. Split backs, Houlihan right, Brooks left, so Mike Brooks is back in and he's in motion. Sack time! My, how quickly did Pat Hopkins get in there? Hopkins from the weak side end got him from the blind side, Eric, as Clark faked a quick look. And was that going to be a pump and run there, a little pump fake and go deep? What was going on there?
It may have been, Joe. I couldn't really tell. I didn't watch the receivers that time. But however, that came at a great opportunity for Central Bucks to put the Hatboros even deeper in their own territory.
So it's third down and deep, and well, you would expect a running play here to play it safe, but Eric, you called it before. Hatboros come in here with a game plan, and they're not afraid to go do it. Brooks in motion, Houlihan, the only running back, he gets it. Knifes his way up over the 15, hit initially by Billy Wasson, then sat upon by Pat Hopkins, and it'll bring up a punting situation.
On that play, Joe, I just wonder a little bit if maybe Hatboros got a little bit of doubts about their passing game. I think, of course, maybe they figured Central Bucks was looking for a pass on that play, and they do have some backs that can break some long runs.
Well, it was third and about 27. And with the wind at their back, maybe they figure they'll punt it out here and let the defense go back to work and hope to get the football with better field position. Juan Roth stands on his 5. He ought to hit it away at about the 9 or so. Left-footed punter, and he hits a good one. And his opposing name man there, Roth, gets it. But hustling down for the Hatters of Hatboro-Horsham, Mike Gabinizio to make his second tackle on the special teams. Eric?
This is a very interesting change of events as far as I'm concerned, Joe. In the second quarter, Central Bucks has had excellent field position going into the win.
Yeah, they sure have. 47-yard line. The last possession started at the 43, their own 43-yard line, or it may have been a 47 after the interception by Mike Pettin Jr. The Bucks coached, of course, by Mike Pettin Sr. McCandless, power I formation set to the left. Mike McCandless gets it on a delay, and he's knifed down at the 48-yard line. Scott Long, I believe, is it? Let's double check for you. Steve Bullock, okay, is checking in as number 68. So let's see if we can correct that on our roster somewhere here, Eric.
Second down 9.
I thought we had Steve's name here. Well, we'll fix that. Steve Bullock, number 68 in the lineup for the Hatters. Second down and 9 as McCandless got only 1. Again, they switch to the power I. It's set strong to the left. Mike Pettin, they fake it, and he keeps it and gets to the 45-yard line.
Very nice run.
Pettin looks pretty quick.
He's a good athlete. His father was a great athlete in college and high school, and see a lot of same attributes in his son.
Long over to make the tackle. It's third down and a short 3. Football resting on the Hatboro 45-yard line. 6:02 to go here in the first half. 7-2, Hatboro-Horsham over the Bucks of CB West. Home-Vue.
I'm a little bit coach.
With Eric Bass, Joe Eichhorn, and a Hatboro-Horsham cheerleader.
She was very distinct on that cheer, wasn't she?
Yeah. Okay. They're going to have to measure. You see how close it is.
It looks like they have the first down to me, Joe, from here.
Hatboro making a change. Houlihan coming in. Play a little linebacker. And they stretch it out. You called it correctly, Eric. First down, Central Bucks West, down at the Hatter 42-yard line. Going into the wind, Central Bucks West tries to reclaim the lead. They have yet to score offensively. The defense sacking Steve Clark for a safety.
Without sounding redundant, Joe, I think the next series of plays is going to be very important for Central Bucks.
We shall find out. Double wing left. They shift power I, strong right. Kabrinsky, McCandless, Wasson. Nope, fake. Pettin keeps, turns it inside, and he gets about 4 or 5 yards. Tim Creamer and Joe Ballesteri. So Ballesteri, at the end, played that properly. He, of course, to my knowledge, Eric, has to take the quarterback, and the corner's got to come up and take the pitch man. Is that right?
Not all the time, Joe. It's played different ways. Sometimes it's just the opposite.
Okay. Or is it the opposite all of the time? Did I have that wrong? I think I had it wrong. Okay. Anyhow, Pettin gets 5. Backs are split. Billy Watson dives over the right side down to about the 34-yard line. Short of a first down by about 2. Rich Simononis, the tackler, along with Ballesteri.
It's a shame when I played that he didn't have his head up and was looking to the inside because he had a big inside cut on that play. He ran the ball well, though.
Watson played linebacker last year.
Well, it's something that takes a lot of experience as a running back.
He's a big, strong guy, and
he's getting yardage.
Yeah, oh, he's tough. Knew he'd be a good one last season. Hey, how about this? Full house backfield. Watson over the left side. First down and then some on a fine block by Walt Kabrinsky to lead the way. Finally tackled by Steve Bullock and Bobby Long.
I think as you watch this game, you have to give a lot of credit to Mike Pettin, the head coach of Central Bucks. It's like he is so innovative and imaginative. He changes everything every year. He is shifting around the backfield of Central Bucks just like the Dallas Cowboys do. It really is amazing. I'll tell you, it's an intricate offense that he has put together here.
Well, Kabrinsky, who was the power back in that trip set, was the lead man. Double wing to the left, double slot actually left. McCandless, the lone man behind. Pitch, he's got one-on-one with Steve Clark. Clark cannot get him. Houlihan bounces him down. Steve Clark had a clear shot, but little Mike McCandless, who plays some second base for Mel Wright's baseball team, broke the one-on-one. Del Val must have played last night, as we see a couple of their players below us, including former outstanding player Rich Doherty, Delaware Valley College, winners over FDU on a Friday night. Power eye to the right, 2nd down and 4. Clock winds down. Kabrinsky motions out to the left. Watson gets it, hit, dives to the 20-yard line.
It looks like Mike Carey's got his offensive line together, because I'll tell you something, they're blowing out that strong Hatboro defense without too much trouble right now. And like I said, I thought this was a very important series for the Bucks, and they've risen to the occasion.
And they're winding that clock down too. By the way, 59 is Kevin Dick.
I think Mike's got to be real happy with what's happened now with the offensive line.
He'll be happier if they take it into the end zone. 3rd down short. Will Pettin keep it himself? No. Yes, he does. He faked it to Watson. Dives for the first down. He delayed, and he gets it. Steve Bullock, 77 to make the tackle. Mike Pettin Jr. And by the way, he is a junior in
all aspects.
Very good, Eric. In all aspects, he's a junior. That's right.
A little bit like Howard Giselle with those words I use.
Excellent. Moylan, tight end to the right. Power eye. McCandless is the tail. Watson high steps his way inside the 15. Powerful running that time. Down to about the 14-yard line. Bob Long, 63, the tackler.
I love this, Joe. This is Hatboro knows they're in for a football game.
Well, that was some punishing running there. There's a timeout on the field. 2:07 to go. Opening half here. 7-2. Yeah, he runs quite a bit like a fellow who wore that number a couple of years ago here at West Scott Somerville, number 44. Now a linebacker at Bucknell. The encyclopedia, which contains the schools of former players where they are now playing, Eric, has been reopened. And indeed, Scott Somerville is at Bucknell.
Bucknell's up in the sticks of Pennsylvania. Cold, cold area.
It's near Lewisburg's famed prison. Of course, you and I will be near the prison walls of Graterford in 2 weeks when the same Bucks travel out to take on Perkiomen Valley.
Exactly.
Against 6'5" left-handed quarterback John Smiley of the Perkiomen Valley Vikings. Yeah, he'll throw it a lot. He'll put it up about 30 times that afternoon.
That's a big quarterback. That's big in any standards.
Next week on Home-Vue Cable Television, Central Bucks East North Penn, Delaware Valley Wilkes in a homecoming game, and Archbishop Wood Cardinal Doherty. And the following weekend, Eric will join me again for Perk Valley hosting the Bucks of West. 2nd down 5, 2:07 to go in the first half, 7-2. Hatboro-Horsham over Central Bucks West. Double wing right. They come over to form a power I set to the left. McCandless tries to break it to the outside. He was forced that way by Bobby Long. Hughes and then Creamer to come up and make the tackle.
I like the way McCandless runs the ball. He runs with his eyes. He looks and sees where he's going. He reacts quickly to the situation.
Mike McCandless, Central Bucks West. He's only a junior. You know, I'm making a mistake. His brother, Pat McCandless, was the baseball player, not Michael. Our apologies, Mike. Oh my, hello there, Bobby Long. Woo-wee.
That's a big play for the Hatters.
I would say that Bob Long knows the difference between Pat and Mike McCandless after that play, wouldn't you?
I think so.
My.
I felt that one up here, Joe.
1:15 to go in the opening half. Bob Long with a big play. That brings up 4th down and 5. That play, you talk about this being a big possession. That particular play could be the biggest play of the possession by the defense.
Well, a couple things are going to happen when you have these kind of drives go. Either the defense is going to come up with a real big play, or the offense is going to come up with a big play or a continuous drive. And Happer did it that time. Central Bucks is going to have to throw the ball. There's no way they can kick into this win and try to get a field goal. So this is the biggest play of the first half.
All right, well, let's see. The football is almost directly in the center of the football field. A little bit more wide to the left, open field to the left. And let's see if indeed they come out in A formation, shift to another one, and have Mike Pettin Jr. roll to that strong side and either throw if a man's open or keep it himself. Maybe even Eric Bass, he may just keep it himself. That might be the play, I suspect. Let's see if I'll be correct.
May I make a venture on this one?
Fire it away. It's all
I think
yours.
he's going to roll to the left and throw to the left on a flood pattern.
Well, it looks
flooding
that way.
the left zone.
Well, I think he's going to follow Billy Watson and running himself around the left side. Let's see. Well, he's looking, he floats it out there, and it is knocked away. Is it complete or incomplete? It's incomplete on the far sideline. Well, we both had about the right idea, Eric, as far as what was going to happen. Dropping back again, the linebacker 63, Bobby Long, along with number 7, Steve Clark.
That's about all they could do on that play. With a wind this strong, it's picked up considerably, Joe. This has got to be close to a 30-mile-an-hour wind that he was thrown into.
Well, that's why I thought maybe running the football behind Watson might have been the better idea. You had the receivers out there. They went out, cleared the zone. And even a little guy like myself could probably run behind Billy Watson. I think.
I hope.
1:05 to go here in the first half. Will Hatboro-Horsham be content, or will they try to put points up on the football scoreboard? I don't know. Number 74 for the Bucks, Rob Sargent, has Jimmy Houlihan wrapped up. No gains, 2nd down and 10. We wind down the first half. We'll be on the field with our halftime show. We'll attempt to have with us Hatboro-Horsham AD Larry Biddle. And at the conclusion of this football game on our post-game show, we will indeed have the winning coach of this contest. The undefeated Hatters against the winless, believe it or not, Bucks of CB West. These two teams, the co-defending Bucksmont champions of 1981. Michael Brooks fumbles the football, however, he recovers himself at the 12-yard line. Stripped of the ball. Scott Daniels is there to lay on top of him. However, Daniels a split second too late to make the recovery.
I love Mike Pettin's thinking, calling timeout with this amount of time left, because he knows anything can happen in a football game. Turnovers are a very, very important factor, and he figures, what the heck? Let's try it, see what happens, make him run another play. Maybe we will get the ball and score a touchdown.
Well,
you
Brooks,
don't know.
Brooks just fumbled on that occasion.
Funnier things have happened in football.
Regained it, of course, himself, recovered himself, I should
This first
say.
half moved fast, Joe.
I see the players' benches with the Hatboro-Horsham cheerleaders bouncing up and down on them, and my goodness, those girls better realize that those benches are not made out of the sturdiest of material. Okay, Hatters with 12 seconds left on what might be the final play of this first half. And Craig Hammer, well, maybe some folks wish it were. Steve Clark lays on the football. And that is going to do it. That's it. That ends the first half. The score, Hatboro-Horsham 7, Central Bucks West 2, following these messages from our sponsors. And by the way, we urge you to support our sponsors, for without them we could not provide you with these football games. So if you would. The score 7-2, Hatboro-Horsham leading Central Bucks West. And after these messages, we will return with our halftime program. The sun has reappeared, of course, at halftime there. I wasn't sure, Eric Bass. I thought Larry Biddle and I maybe had some snowflakes falling upon us.
It started to rain just a little bit.
That was rain, huh? We actually see some people out here with summer clothing on. They must not have heard the forecast for today. It is breezy and chilly.
And windy.
And football is in the air, and the football itself will be in the air. Brooks and Roth deep. And now they split. Roth farthest away, Brooks this side. And there's Snyder's kickoff. It's Roth at the 5-yard line, up close to the 20, breaks into the open and up to the 25 before Bo Beck makes the tackle. All the way out to the 27-yard line. Juan Roth on a fine return. Bo Beck, the tackler. Pretty good field position for the Hatters of Hatboro-Horsham. They lead 7-2.
I think you can basically look for Hatboro to do the same thing they did in the first half. Go with their ground game, stay with the CL is established, and see what they can do if they have to go to the air.
Rich Seminonis, wide to the left. Joe Ballestieri, tight end to the right. Brooks and Houlihan open up. Brooks farthest, Houlihan nearest. Dive play, Jim Houlihan over the 30, 32-yard line. Billy Watson, 44, the tackler, along with 32. Let's Jay Warren double check me. It's not Jay Warren, it's Pat Hopkins. Warren is in at number 23. West makes a change now. Scotty Drexler, 66, comes in to play a tackle. He's a 210-pound senior. Now it looks as if West is going with a 6-man line this time, Eric Best.
I think from the first half, the Penns obviously established the fact that Hatboro is going to go with the ground game, so why not go strength against strength? And that was a great tackle there.
Did Billy Watson read the key and fill the hole or what? Number 44 all over Michael Brooks.
Fantastic job.
More changes. Mark Rafesnyder, 6'4", 200-pound senior, checks in. He's going to play that right tackle next to Moylan. Hopkins in the center. Fitzko the other tackle. And Brad Tracy on the end. So Rich Seminonis, first down.
That was a nice looking play. They
faked the Houlihan.
Yes, they did. And they brought the linebackers in on that play, and they threw underneath on the defensive back.
Clock stopped now for some reason here. They're moving the chains rather. Eddie Dearden ties the shoe, and okay, the clock recounts. 10-12 and counting down, third quarter, 7-2. Hatboro over West. Joe Eichhorn, Eric Bass on Home-Vue Cable Television. Seminonis this time to the left on a first down. Split backs. Dive left, Houlihan to the 45-yard line. Wasson again, 44, the tackler. And also number 70, Scott Daniels.
As I said, Joe, it looks like Hatboro is going to go with what's known as a dive series. Basically, they go down the line, trying to find a weak spot in the Central Bucks defense and run to it.
Brooks, go ahead.
Great swarming defense, though, by Central Bucks. They're doing a lot of gang tackling.
Brooks and Houlihan. The wing to the left this time is Tom Burley. He has one reception on the afternoon. Ballestieri tight to the right. Brooks hit in the backfield. Nice play defensively. Robbie Sargent, number 74, first man to get a piece of him. And Brooks came out stumbling. It looks as if we have a Hatter shaken up on the play. We do.
It's number 68, Joe.
I believe that's Mike Hughes. Looks like he got his bell rung maybe, huh? Or was it a knee? He's coming off fairly rubber-kneed, as you can see on your screen. Burley out, Creamer in. Tim Creamer, 6'2", 155-pound senior.
It's going to be interesting on this play. I feel that Hatboro is going to have to go with the pass. Central Bucks is playing a very tough running way.
Wide outs each way. West only showing 4 men up front. Here comes Brooks into the open, first down. Michael Brooks. Chris Baggett, 24, the tackler.
It was a nice outfield cut he made. He knew where the first down was and got it.
Why did West go to the 4-man line there?
I think, Joe, probably they felt that they were going to pass the ball. He may have switched that at the line of scrimmage. I don't think he did, but he may have.
Changes continuing to be made. 74 Sargent comes in along with 66 Drexler. Bo Beck, 42, goes out. Warren and Pettin on the corners, and it looks like Kabrinsky playing free safety. The Bucks this time show 6 down and 2 linebackers. Brooks left side, runs into one of his blockers, then is hit from behind by 70 Scott Daniels and Billy Wasson, 44, on the bottom. 8:15, clock winds down, third quarter. And what's happening here, Eric Bass, is that Hatboro-Horsham's controlling this quarter, the quarter when West would have had the wind at their back, which I believe is a factor in this football game.
It has to be when it's this strong. However, big scoring play was against the wind.
True. Second down and 9. Wing right, wide out right, and the backs now open up. Steve Clark, dive play, keeps it himself, and he's hit and maybe falls forward for a yard. It'll be third down and about 7. Rob Moylan, 89, the right hand, makes the tackle. And slightly shaken up for the Bucks is Brad Tracy, the nose guard. Substitute. Or actually, we should say a substitution. Joe Waters, not a substitute. He started the football game at the quick end. Comes in for the Hatters. Dennis Stanley, the coach of Hatboro-Horsham. Mike Pettin, Sr., the mentor of the Bucks. Sargent quickly out, number 74. Here comes that scissors play they used to call it, and oh my, nice running room. Breaking it is Quan Roth, and he's down to the 38-yard line. Quan Roth finally tackled by Mike Pettin. He'll be short of a first down. Roth showing good speed.
That was a daring play by the Hatboro team at that time. I was a little surprised they ran a play like that. It worked nicely for them. They came very close to getting the first down.
Hatboro runs that play often. That's the first time we've seen it this year. They used to have a wingback. I cannot remember his name here, Eric. He played, I'll think of him. Played a lot of basketball, too. Billy something or other. I'll get it from Paul Ostrowski, who used to run that play out of the wingback position many times a game, 5-6 times. Power ride to the right on fourth down and short. Toss to Brooks, short side of the field, and I don't believe he's got it.
No,
West
I don't
stacks
think
him
so,
up. Sargent, 74, slides down. Let's see who's on the bottom of the pile. 70, Scott Daniels.
If I was the Hatboro coach, I wouldn't have called that play. That's he's got too much power in his backfield and in his offensive line to be running a play like that to give the defense enough time to react. The Central Bucks did nicely.
So West takes over.
If Central Bucks goes in and scores on this play, I think they're going to regret the fact that they called that play.
Kabrinsky motions to the right. Bill Wasson over the right side. 3 or 4 punishing yards.
I think, Joe, they have to go with him. They have to keep running the ball and let Wasson's good. He's as good as any back on the field right now.
Hughes and Boyer, the tacklers. The wingback I was referring to, thanks to Walt Ostrowski.
Offensive line looks real good for Central Bucks.
Yeah, they're blowing them out in there.
They want to prove themselves. And this is a team to do it against.
Well, Mark Rapesnyder, the big left tackle, he checks in at 220. He can do it, 6'4". Wasson, the lone setback, and Billy gets it, goes over Rapesnyder's side, and he is running hard into Michael Brooks up to the 47-yard line. It'll be third down and about 3. It looks as if, to me, the Hatters beginning to wear down a little bit. They have quite a few people going both ways.
Billy Watson's a big boy, and he really is running well.
Yeah, Watson is a big one.
Okay, this is a big play, Joe.
6 foot 210. Third down and 3.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, I'm not going to call that play, Joe.
All right, let's see. Toss to the short side. McCandless will be awfully close.
No, he fell short. He's about a foot short.
First down.
Kevin Dick, 59, had him from behind.
Kevin Dick making the tackle.
So you can see we are using the same players' names in both offense and defense for Hatboro-Horsham, and I think they might be wearing down a bit, Eric.
It looks that way. A lot of the guys out there have their hands on their hips. They look like they're doing a little bit of heaving, trying to get a little air.
Brooks is in there both ways for sure. Dearden, Dick, Clark, the quarterback. 4th down and only a yard to go. Full house backfield, left side. Bill Watson, first down into Hatter territory.
He's got it by a lot. Joe, right there is a play that's very, very important as far as Central Bucks goes. And the Hatboro came darn close to having that ball broke against them, because a lot of times what will happen on a short play thing like that, linebackers will be up close, and if he breaks that initial tackle at the line of scrimmage, you might go all the way, and he came real close to it on that play.
68, Mike Hughes, who's going both ways, the tackler.
Gutsy call by Mike Pettin, but he has nothing to lose. He's going after him. They have to win this game to be in the Bucksmont race this year.
Well, they ran that before in the first half. Again, the same side with Kabrinsky blocking for Watson. Pettin's first pass of the second half. He's in the pocket. Now he has to run out. He is being chased. Throws out there. Incomplete at the 20-yard line.
May have been
double
better.
Coverage. Intending it for Kabrinsky. Simononis and Creamer there. And again, did the wind take it just a bit?
It did. It lifted the ball on him because he had the man open. I think on a different circumstances, on a different day, that would have been a completed pass. However, he also had it on the run too.
77, Steve Bolick chasing him down from behind. And the ball was thrown, and the wind sailed it just a bit. 2nd down and 10, West on the Hatter 46, 4:29 to go. Third quarter, 7-2. Hatboro-Horsham, power I, strong right. Bill Watson bulldogs his way down to the 41.
No, they faked it to Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. Pettin himself.
Yes, it was. That was a nice play.
I'll tell you how well he faked that. He not only faked me out, but 3 Hatboro-Horsham people were on top of Billy Watson.
They were expecting it. Central Bucks is wearing down the Hatters, and this is a tribute to the fine coaching that you have at Central Bucks.
Rafe Snyder has just moved to the right tackle. See if that means anything. McCandless, second man throw to the 31-yard line. A first down, Central Bucks. West. Tackle on the play by Bobby Long and Mike Hughes.
Joe, don't be surprised to see Central Bucks come with something to the outside, because they've got the Hatboro defense real tight now, running inside the way they've been. And it looks like the ends, they can get outside the end at any time that they want to. And I think you're going to see that maybe on the next 2 or 3 plays, depending on how the drive keeps going.
Brad Morris now shifts to the right tackle, and Rafe Snyder comes to the left side. Double wing right. Watson tries to cut it to the outside. Michael Brooks with a nice head-on tackle. Wrestles him down at about the 28-yard line. Maybe 2, 3 on the play. 29 they'll call it. 2nd down and 8. Watson runs low to the ground.
I'm impressed with him. He's a good back. He runs hard and he keeps his knees up underneath his body, and he's got a good balance. He's a good natural runner.
3:01, clock counts down here in the third quarter. McCandless and Kabrinsky go to the right side. Rafe Snyder lined up tackle left. Pettin runs into Watson, then gets a block, cuts it to the inside. Jimmy Creamer has him.
Inside the 25-yard line.
Along with Bob Long and Mike Hughes.
They're mixing up their plays very nice. They're going inside, they're going outside on that play, and he got inside the defensive end, made real good yardage, and I look for almost the same play on this play. It might be a surprise. You think they're going to go with Watson. They probably should and probably will, but don't be surprised they come back with
let's see what they come out in here. All right, this is the trips formation in the backfield where they run Watson behind Kabrinsky. And there it was.
He has it.
Watson.
Down to the 19, first down. That's the power play that they've run 3 times today, and it's been successful each and every time over that left side. Oh, look at Moylan. Let's check the sizes. Moylan, 6'2", 190 at the tight end. The left tackle was Rafe Snyder, 6'4", 200, and Kabrinsky leading the way. And Wasson at 6 foot 210 running the football. That's power football.
They have Central Bucks. I mean, they have Hatboro backs against the wall, and they're going at them power for power. And they know that they can move the ball, and they've got the confidence. They're going to stay with it. They're going to go to right side this time.
Long drive. Wasson hit from behind that time. Eddie Dearden, 72.
This is an impressive drive too, Joe. Great running. Great running. Great offensive line surge.
I wonder about the theory, though, if there's, more than 18 or 19 plays run off on one series that eventually something bad happens offensively?
Joe, you're right about that, but let's keep our fingers crossed and hope Central Bucks that gets this ball into the end zone.
Wing left, backs in tight. Pettin again goes to Wasson, and he is the workhorse. Excuse me, Pettin keeps it himself. Joe,
I'm impressed with young Mike Pettin. He runs the ball well. He's a good athlete. I really liked him in one of the scrimmages I saw this summer, and it was really funny. My father was at the scrimmage, and he saw him. He says, "Who's a quarterback for West?" He says, "He's a good-looking kid." I said, "Well, that's Mike's son."
Well,
he's got to win this game, or maybe you can't go home either.
First and goal. That fake is getting me, and it's got the Hatboro people again also. First down and goal. Wing to the right, backs in tight. This time they do sweep it out to McCandless, cuts to the inside, and he's knifed down by Joe Ballestieri.
I didn't particularly care for that play in that situation. I think that they got to stay with their ground attack the way they're going, and don't give Hatboro any time. Joe, I think a play that you're going to have to watch for, and I'll tell you something, if this next play doesn't go, there might be the next play. Watch for the bootleg with Pettin faking the ball and rolling out naked to the left side.
All right, we'll watch for it. Power eye, McCandless the tail. He gets it, fumbles the football, Hatboro's on it. There it was, Eric Bass. The percentages go against you the longer the drive, the higher the chance of mistake, and the mistake is made. McCandless coughs it up. Ballestieri, Brooks recovers. Brooks is coming out. Roth goes in.
Joe, you called that one.
Brooks is a little shook up. I think he recovered the ball, Eric, and a few people fell on top of him. Steve Clark, I formation. Houlihan the up back. Roth the tail. Roth gets outside. Oh, look at this. Juan Roth, first down up to about the 14-yard line. Well, he might be a little short. How premature in the call. Getting up slowly for the Bucks is Chris Snyder. And that ends the third quarter. It was a quick one. The score remains Hatboro-Horsham 7, Central Bucks West 2. We'll be back with a fourth, final, exciting quarter of play after these messages. All righty, this is it. Fourth and final quarter of play. 7-2, Hatboro-Horsham.
I hated to see that happen to Central Bucks on that drive because I think they were really setting them up for exactly the play I was calling. I think they were going to go to one side or the other, and young Mike Pettin was going to hold the ball and come around the other side.
Oh, you know, it had been Wasson, Pettin, Wasson, Pettin, Pettin, and then twice to McCandless, and unfortunately the sophomore coughed the football up. Unfortunate if you're a Central Bucks West fan, which I'm sure most of our viewers are tonight. However, we're also told the possibility of this football game being cablecast in the Horsham-Hatboro area via our friends over at Ultracom.
It's going to be interesting now to see what Hatboro can do now with the ball and see if they can keep moving it the way they did on the first play.
What a big play that was to get 9 yards on the first play.
That's what you need.
Little breathing room. Brooks remains out. Houlihan the up back. Clark is the quarterback. And Steve Clark keeps it for what appears to be a first down out over the 15-yard line. Let's see who it is. Scott Daniels, number 70, up off the bottom of the pile. sunshine here at Alden Field. This time of the year, usually you come down here and it's about 60 degrees and you feel as if you should bring the suntan lotion along. Not the case today. Quan Roth, and finally Wasson after an 8-yard pickup. And right now, Eric Bass, it looks as if there's a flag on the play. I was about to say the offensive Hatboro-Horsham looks rejuvenated.
No, it's a penalty against Hatboro.
That is a big play.
So far in this game, there have been very few penalties, Joe, and the ones that have been the big ones against Hatboro.
Yeah, they had a holding penalty, almost on the identical spot on the football field, if you recall.
And they had one clipping penalty, too.
Penalty against the Hatters.
Now Michael Brooks says he's ready. He goes to chat with Dennis Stanley on the sideline as you see the officials walk it back. I don't know if they're going to risk Brooks right now, though, Eric. Now you're facing 1st and 20. Joe Waters comes in. Rich Seminones checks out. Seven to 2, fourth quarter action. 1st down and 20. Ball pushed back to the 9-yard line. Make it the 8. Roth is in. Brooks is not. Quan Roth up to the 11-yard line. Jay Warren, number 23. And Billy Wasson, 44. You look down this West roster, Eric, you don't see the familiar group of family names that you almost always saw the last 7, 8, 9, 10 years. A lot of new names now.
Oh, sure, Joe. That's going to happen anyway. People are going to keep growing and getting older. And you're going to have a new influx of people.
It's a good point, Eric.
Thanks, Joe.
I know what you're saying. Okay, Roth again. No, sir. Scotty Daniels has him by the shoe tops. 3rd down and long now.
However, one of the things I can say about it, you can see what type of tradition Central Bucks has when you have 2 of the coaches that are coaching with Mike Pettin were 2 guys that played for Mike Pettin. And I think that's a heck of a tribute to a great coaching staff, a great man. You got Bill Tesno and you have Mike Carey, 2 fine football players that played for Mike Pettin here at West, now coaching for him.
Right. The Hatboro-Horsham cheerleaders below us on 3rd down and 16. Steve Clark doing a super job filling in the big shoes of Craig Hammer. Clark on a quarterback draw. Spins his way up close to the 15. Again, Sergeant 74 and 70 Daniels. Big punt coming up here, Eric Bass, by Quan Roth, who's done a nice job filling in for Mike Brooks at the tailback spot.
In this circumstance, he has a lot of wind behind him. I look for Central Bucks to try to possibly block this one.
Well, let's see. Doesn't look like it.
No, it
They're
doesn't.
Going to set up a return. Listen, they should get the ball in good field with good field position.
As long as they don't get an unusual roll.
Left-footed punter. Hits it pretty well.
Oh, he's got a chance to return this one.
But McCandless is going to be wrestled down. Thrown to the ground. Nice play by Tom Burley, number 26.
You couldn't ask for a better punt for Central Bucks. And the fact that it was low, he outkicked his coverage, and it looked like he had a chance of getting a good return on that one.
Down to 8:56, the Bucks with it on their own 46-yard line. Neither team has scored since midway through the opening quarter. West Moylan, along with Brad Tracy and Pat Hopkins, sacked Clark for a safety, then a 59-yard scoring one by Brooks. The extra point by Neil Roberts. That's where we stand as Wasson picks up 2. 2nd down and 8. Long, 63, the tackler. The Hatters clinging to a 7-2 lead. I believe they have, well, they shut out Archbishop Wood, Eric Bass.
Right.
And I believe they've only given up in one other game a field goal, so this will be their 3rd game so far in which they have not yielded a touchdown. That says something. Oh my, oh, getting him. Dearden just got enough of him. 72, Ed Dearden. Steve Bullock, 77, was chasing him down from behind, but it was Eddie Dearden. It looked like Mike Pettin Jr. was going to get away.
Looked like he had the outside on that play, and he was just tripped up in the backfield.
3rd down and about 12 from the 45, down to 7:39 and counting down in a football game.
It's going to be an interesting play. They're going to roll to the right side.
Now he drops right back in the pocket. Has time, fires over the middle. Bad pass, incomplete. Intending it for McCandless. Now a punt is in order. There's still plenty of time left for the Bucks. They must get things going. Hatboro-Horsham is for real, though, Eric Bass. They are certainly the prime contender in the Bucksmont race this season.
They look good, Joe. They have a very good team. They didn't lose their poise either. They've kept it so far.
And as we check the schedule next week, Hatboro-Horsham plays Friday night at North Penn. West draws a bye in the league.
That was a crazy catch by a Hatboro player there.
And that crazy player, Eric Bass, was Tom Burley, who made the tackle on the previous punt.
He should have just left that ball go. That was close to being a very costly mistake by Hatboro, that player trying to catch that ball like that.
What a stop-and-go season this has been for West. Missing a couple games via the strike, playing 3, then drawing the league bye next week. Hasn't been the kind of season Mike Pettin had hoped for. Out of the I formation, Clark. Juan Roth hit once, twice. Nick Bitsko hit him first. Got away from Nick. And is put down by Bo Beck.
I have to think you've got to look at Central Bucks' year this year as a rebuilding year. They lost a lot of good players, had some really good teams. You're going to have a lull like this. It's a high school football team. You can't recruit. You got to go with what you got to go with. And these guys are young. They're going to learn.
The Hatboro band begins the victory chant here. I think they might be a little too early for that. Michael Brooks not back in the lineup. Play action. Clark looks. Right sideline. Beautifully knocked away. Jay Warren on one-on-one coverage with Tim Creamer. And Jay Warren showed some good skills there, the super junior, who's also a pretty darn good baseball pitcher.
He looked real good, Joe. He stayed with the ball perfectly and didn't interfere with the receiver. Made a great play on the ball, almost had an interception.
Yeah, he almost did. It'll bring up a 3rd down play. Burley comes in. Out comes Kramer. Dick up over the football to center. Wing right, out of the eye, 3rd down and 9. Clock winds down to 6:15. Draw play. Roth hit immediately.
Great defensive play by Central Bucks.
Brad Tracy, number 31, the tackler. I think he smelled it all the way, Eric.
They weren't fooled one good on that play. They kept the outside rush, and when they saw the draw, they circled in and got the running back trying to go up the middle on the draw play.
Quan Roth in the punt. McCandless and Steve Roth now go deep. McCandless on the near side.
Hatboro calls an unusual timeout.
Yeah, they sure do. 5:43 remaining in the football contest, 7-2, the Hatters. 4th and 9. Dennis Stanley onto the football field. Dennis Stanley, not exactly what you would call a flashy dresser, Eric.
He's coaching football, Jeff.
Also have a limited quantity of the 1982-83 Hatboro-Horsham activity calendars. You can pick one up immediately after the game right here at the booth. All the events for 82-83.
It's an interesting thing that they have now in high school football where the coach is allowed to go out in the field. I like that.
Yeah, why not? Time is out, right? I mean, here we go. 5:43. Central Bucks West has to get their hands on the football here and get some good field position. Steve Roth, farthest from us.
I think possibly what Stanley told him to do is kick the ball out of bounds. That may seem unusual with this field position, but there it is. Big play for Central Bucks.
How about that? Walt Kabrinsky right in on him, and now the Bucks are going to get it in great field position. at the 25-yard line. It doesn't really matter who recovered that ball, fellas. It's going to be right there, CB Football. Nick Bitsko says he has it. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't make any difference. Boy, that's something.
I don't believe that's what Dennis Stanley went out and told him. Not about punting it out of bounds, but dribbling the snap back. Boy, that'll be tough for Hatboro if that should be the play that loses this football game.
Well, but you got to remember too, Joe, Central Bucks fumbled the ball away when they had a great scoring opportunity too inside the 10-yard line.
Out of the I formation, Pettin on a sprint draw keeps it himself, being chased from the outside and hit, and down he goes. Tom Burley again. 26, Tommy Burley's coming alive and playing super football.
I really feel, Joe, I think Central Bucks, I hope they have it in their playbook, but they need to fake a handoff to Wasson off to one side and Pettin bootlegging it. I think he's got it. I do, I see it.
Well, Eric, let's see if indeed that's it. Maybe Sid Hunsberger, one story above us here in the press facilities, has that in mind. In motion comes Kabrinsky. Watson's already lined up out there. They toss it to McCandless. The quick back dives forward, and we're going to have a clip or a hold, one or the other. Number 70, Scott Daniels, is going to get called for it, but what great pursuit by Ed Dearden. I think you could see that flag, Eric, or well, the flag, the reason for the flag.
This is something, Joe, I don't quite understand that Central Bucks is doing now, is they were very, very successful inside against Hatboro, and all of a sudden they've gone away from that plan and have been trying to attack the outside without establishing the inside once again. I think that they can't do that and expect to drive against this Hatboro team. They're very successful inside.
Well, especially, as you said, the amount of success that they did have running inside with Wasson. Well, Eric, the traditional victory cigar is in my hand. However, I don't know whom I'll be smoking it for, as we have friends on both sides of the line of scrimmage in this particular game. Couple of wings, Wasson stays in the block. Mike Pettin in the pocket. Mike Pettin is leaping over one of his own men. Being chased, then he's being buried back at the 35-yard line. Hughes and Long to make the tackle, but weak side pressure from 77 Bullock. It's third down and approximately 20 yards to go.
Hatboro's done a great job defensively covering Central Bucks receivers. I don't think Mike Pettin's completed 5 passes this game, do you?
How about we go one step farther? I don't think he's completed 1.
You're probably right.
Has he?
No, I don't think he has.
There's the reverse.
No.
However, what a play! And being thrown to the ground.
That's not the play that I was looking for.
Dave Perrine is literally buried on that play.
That's not the type of play that I wanted Central Bucks to run.
You wanted Pettin to bootleg it himself.
Absolutely. I thought that was a play they were setting up down here possibly.
Mike Hughes. Boy, we've seen some big plays by the Hatboro defense. Three minutes, and we'll be under 3 by the time Hatboro touches the football. Into the wind, way up there, Snyder, way up there. And it bounces laterally before it is down by Perrine.
Good hustle by Perrine to stop that ball.
I'm wrong on that, Eric. It was Pat Hopkins, number 32, not number 12. Pat Hopkins. I'm sorry. 2 first downs here, Eric, and I think it might be history. Okay. Brooks has not come back in. I believe West has a football. Unbelievable. What a turn of events this is.
When you
Dennis Stanley has to be shaking his head.
When they need it, they got it. Now Central Bucks has to capitalize on this plan. I just hope they stay with what made them move before and get inside the 10-yard line and come up with a big play to score.
Let me ask you a question. How many chances can one team get here?
Well, this is going to be their last chance, I believe.
All right, 2:16 and winding down, and there is an official's timeout. Little injury, not an injury, and an equipment adjustment on Bob Long. 2:15 remains in this football game. 7-2, Hatboro-Horsham.
I know Mike Carey's fired up. I know he wishes he's out there playing. He's an intense football coach, and he's hoping the best for his linemen.
Here we go. Richardson, the center, up over the football.
It's going to be one in the trenches right now. The line's going to win it.
And Watson in the backfield. Pettin, the quarterback. Watson gets it, tries to skirt outside. He gets turned around. He spins for about 3. Billy Watson right at about the 20-yard line, turned inside by Hughes and Dearden.
Now that's what I want to see. There's 3 yards on that play, Joe. Watson's just got to run hard as he possibly can and get squared upfield. He ran a little lateral that time.
Eric, I think we should keep in mind that Billy Watson, too, has played probably every down of this football game.
He has. He's got to be tired, but I'm going to tell you something right now. Is that this is something that you're seeing, too. The Central Bucks football team is in great physical condition. He doesn't look tired. In fact, nobody on the Central Bucks team looks tired.
Well, that's a tribute to them, considering that they did not have their coaches with them.
Something else you have to remember too is when you've got that layoff that they had, it takes you a good 2 weeks to get back into hitting condition, and this is a pivotal game for them. They came back after 2 weeks and they lost the first 2 games, which I seriously doubt if they would have lost, and they're playing with the best team in the Bucksmont League right now, supposedly.
Well, in the area rankings, just about every poll you look at, Hatboro-Horsham's in the top 10 in the Delaware Valley. And West is 20 yards away from beating this Hatboro-Horsham team. 2nd down and 7 at the 20. My, the power eye is set to the right. Mike Pettin Jr. goes left side. Kaplinsky fumbles it, recovered by Hatboro-Horsham. Oh, boy. Hughes is on the football. Eric, I believe that's the first time they ran that play today.
It was the first time they ran that play all day. And once again, I was very surprised on that call. It was a misdirection play designed to get the Hatboro team flowing in one direction and come back on a, looks like a delayed counter. And they obviously saw what happened. It was a bad handoff.
Mike Pettin, senior, hands in his pockets, staring out at the football field. He can't believe it. If Hatboro coughs it up again here, Dennis Stiley might just, well, faint.
Hatboro's going to run nothing but safe plays.
We're under a minute. Walt Kaplinsky could not hang on to the handoff. And of course, he was trying to hustle around that end, could not get back in time to recover. And 63 for the Hatters did. Mike Pettin Jr. calls the Bucks' 3rd and final timeout. I think, Eric Bass, that the Hatboro-Horsham band can start to play that victory song now if they so wish.
Joe, I hate to agree with you, but it sure looks that way.
Some happy Hatboro-Horsham people below us.
I think Hatboro's got to be very fortunate to get out of this game with the win that they did get.
I believe, too, Eric, checking back, this might be the first time Hatboro beats West since '76.
I don't know about this statistic, Joe, but it's probably been a while.
I don't know. Who won last year's game? I just can't recall. For some reason, I'm at a loss. Out of the I formation. I know Hatboro lost a big one to Wissahickon, which of course gave West a chance. Jim Houlihan, excuse me. There was a Mike Houlihan here years ago. Hopkins, a tackler. Number 32. Well, I guess West had one more timeout left, but that is their final timeout. Well, Eric, this football game is over because what Hatboro-Horsham will do here on 3rd down is obviously run the football for about 4 or 5 seconds. West cannot stop the clock. They just come up over the football and let the time elapse, either on the amount of time to get the playoff, or by that time, the end of the game would be counted down.
There's not much the Central Bucks can do now except hope for a miracle. Herm Edwards miracle.
Balls don't bounce funny on grass as they do on AstroTurf. Or as I heard a well-known Philadelphia announcer say, on natural grass. That's what we're playing on, natural grass. I didn't realize there was any unnatural grass in stadiums. I thought it was just grass or turf, didn't you, AstroTurf?
I think you're...
I'm being a wise guy there. I won't mention the fellow's name. Steve Clark falls on the football, and the Central Bucks West players, Eric Bass, maybe our cameras can pick up the west sideline, standing there with their hands on their hips on the far side of the football field, staring out at the field. There's nothing they can do. The Hatboro-Horsham supporters are counting it down. We're under 10 seconds. Hatboro-Horsham remains undefeated, and Central Bucks West, hard to believe, loses their third in a row, and the Hatboro fans love it. It's all over. Hatboro-Horsham 7. Central Bucks West 2, and the Hatters, look at the contrasting styles on the football field. Hatboro jubilant, the Bucks of West can't believe it.